Hey gang, since I got a new wool in my Wool Interrupted Fiber of the Month club, I thought I'd show you my routine when I deal with a new breed that I haven't spun before. It's something I quite enjoy. I love finding new breeds and experimenting with them and learning all about them. Coffee's important. So, we got this lovely Shropshire roving. See? Pretty. And I was surprised at how soft it actually is. And since I've never spun it, I start with the Fleece and Fiber Source Book. If you don't have this book and you're interested in different breeds and their uses and exploring all the little things you need to know about each individual breed, this is an excellent source. If you're hearing noises in the background, as usual, that's Bobo and Latte playing. So this book has, more than 200 fibers listed. And I literally go through and I will staple samples into the book. So when I go back later, I can always feel the fiber and remember what it is I did or didn't like about it. So I looked up Shropshire, and here's the page on Shropshire. Now it gives you a nice breakdown. It gives you a little bit of the history of the fleece, the breed, I should say. I didn't know that in the 1930s, Shropshire was the most common sheep in the US. Did not know that. They have lovely pictures of the raw fleece, the washed fleece, and spun up and made into samples. So, if we look at the facts, the fleece weight is 4.5 to 10 pounds for ewes and up to 14 pounds for rams. The yield is 50 to 75%, probably depending on debris and whatnot. Staple length 2.5 to 4 inches. The micron count 24.5 to 33 microns. I consider anything 25 or less to be next to the skin, up to 30 for people who aren't really sensitive. Anything over 30 I consider medium grade and then into coarse. So the most common is 26 to 29 microns, which is well within that range. So the lock characteristics: dense, resilient, medium grade fleeces with blocky rectangular staples that hold together and may be hard to distinguish from each other. Mostly a white sheep. So using Shropshire fiber, they even give you hints on how to use it. They give you dyeing hints, fiber preparation and spinning hints, knitting, crocheting, and weaving hints, and what it's best known for. So apparently this wool takes dyes nicely. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Fiber preparations, they can be handled in a variety of ways. When working with shorter fleeces, it is best to card, but longer fleeces can be flicked or combed. Spin with moderate twist to maintain loft and elasticity. Excellent yarn for hats, mittens, socks, and casual sweaters. The finer fleeces are soft enough to be worn next to the skin, but durable enough for everyday wear. They're best known for, like all down breeds, being unnecessarily overlooked as a fiber resource for hand spinners. So, after having a look at this, feeling the fiber and knowing my plans, I decided that I want to spin this for socks. So I want to do a very fine spin. I'm going to use my Lendrum wheel. Lars had a lovely spa day. Didn't take me hardly any time at all to fix him up. I thought it would take days because I thought I would have to refinish. Turns out he just needed a really good wash and cleaned up all the points, all the fiber that got caught in any little bearings and stuff, put some new bearings in the head, and he is ready to roll again. So I'm going to use my fast flyer on my Lendrum wheel, and we're going to spin this for socks. So I will reset the camera, show you how we set up the wheel and how we're going to spin this. Here is one of the many reasons why I love my Lendrum. Right now I have the regular flyer on. This is the drive band. This whole head can be removed just by undoing this knob, and then you can put on your plying head. We want to use our fast flyer. So you can see the whirls or pulleys or whatever you want to call them. You can see the major size difference. So you're going to get a lot more speed out of this one than you will out of this one. So therefore, you are letting the wheel do the work. You don't have to treadle faster to get more twists. You can just adjust your size. All right. Now I have taken off all the oil. I don't want to spin dry because that will wear out the bearings, make horrible noises, and be harder to spin. So I will put a little bit of oil onto there and then insert it in the bearing. The other nice thing about the fast flyer is it just uses the same bobbins as the regular flyer. We took all the oil off the shaft, so we need to redo that. Put a little bit of extra on the end where it's going to go into the other bearing. Then we just take our bobbin, slide it on, give a little bit of an extra drop on the end because it was very dry. I wiped it off, so it's very dry. There's no residual oil or anything. Don't get oil on your Scotch tension brake band. I did that once, did not know it, could not figure out what was going on with my wheel. It kept not drawing on the fiber, and then it would just suck it all on, rip it right out of my hands. It took me forever to figure out it's because I had oil on my brake band, so it would slip and catch and slip and catch and slip and catch. Drive band. Let's hope this one isn't stretched out too much. We'll adjust our height all the way up. There we go. Oh, perfect. Now, with the Lendrum drive band, it is just like a rubbery material. So you can see that it's just barely putting enough tension on it to use the largest whirl on my fast flyer. What I can do is cut the brake band, shorten it, and melt it back together. And it'll go again until eventually it snaps from age. With Scotch tension, the tiniest little adjustments will influence how quickly it draws the fiber on. So if it's pulling it out of your hands, adjust your Scotch tension. Just loosen it off just a smidge. Like, I mean, you would not believe how much just a little teeny tiny twist will change how quickly it draws on. Now it's spinning time. We'll unwrap our fiber here. I want to spin a woolen prep. Worsted would be longer wearing, but woolen is warmer. The more air that's trapped in your yarn, the warmer it will be. It also makes it a little softer. Now, I could spin worsted straight from the end, but that's not going to trap a whole lot of air. That actually squeezes the air out. I could card this into roll eggs, but I think what I'm going to do, take a chunk, just put this aside, and I'm going to spin from the fold. Take it, fold it over your finger, and what happens now is as you're drawing off the side, it's going to trap air in your prep as you spin. An instant semi-woolen prep. Get a little bit of fiber in between my leader. Do a worsted join. Okay. So you can see how I'm spinning from the fold. And I'm like treadling super slow, getting plenty of twist in this still because I'm using that fast flyer. That's probably still a little too thick, so I want to go a little thinner yet. I want to make at least a 2-ply, preferably a 3 for socks. You want a nice round fluffy, warm yarn. Now it is pulling awfully hard. I'm going to turn my Scotch tension down a bit. I'm doing a supported long draw on this. Well, it kind of wants to spin right at that weight. You can force it to spin at whatever you want. Oh, there's a little bit of veggie matter in there, so I'm just going to pluck that out. Otherwise, it will cause itch. Every fleece is going to have a thickness it's most comfortable spinning at, like what it will do just without any effort on your part at all. See? Single hand, and that's the thickness it wants to be. So rather than fight it or force it, oh, I got out of the draft. So rather than fight it or force it, I'm just going to let it tell me the thickness it wants to spin. And you can see if you get your wheel adjusted right, you can do this one-handed. Just interfere when it gets a little too thick to correct any problems in the draft. And otherwise, you can just do this one-handed. And that's the beauty of having your wheel set up just right. Doesn't always happen, but if you can, it's a heck of a lot of fun. All right, let's see how our twist is doing here. Just going to tie this off here so the twist doesn't escape. I'm going to take some yarn off the bobbin, and I want to make a 3-ply. So I'm going to bring 3 together. And you can see that's a fairly open ply back sample. It's not real tight, so it needs more twist. Normally, to add more twist, I would go to the next, oh yeah, it's gonna hold. So I will go step down on my whirl size. I'm gonna move this so I know where it starts from. Get my fiber going again here over the finger and let it just draft off the tip of your finger. Try to keep your treadling at the same pace. You're adding more twist by using a faster whirl. Just want to make sure I've spun enough for a ply back sample. Okay. We want to make a 3-ply back sample, so we get 3 strands together. And then, boom. Oh no, it didn't work. It only went into 2 of them. All right, so we're going to do this again. Just quickly wrap it on so we don't get any real extra twist in there. If you want, and I'm going to do this because I want to put a sample into my book, I'm going to break it off there, break it off there, and I'm holding the twist still in the singles. And then I'm going to continue to hold the twist. This can be a little tricky. I should have used a longer sample so I can hold on. You don't want to let that twist escape. Tie a knot in one end and then let it ply back. Oh, that's perfect. Can you see that? There we go. I'm very happy with the ply back sample on this. So now I know how to set up my wheel, and I can just spin. I'm going to take this sample and I will put it in my fleece and fiber source book, so I will always have a reference for Shropshire. I have a bit of a lisp, so saying something like Shropshire can be a bit tricky. Now that we've determined how we're going to spin it, well, let's get to the spinning. What I will do is shoot the next sit and spin using this technique. You can join in tomorrow with your own fiber, or you can just enjoy the story. Thanks so much for watching, guys.